everyone. So today for my portmanteau, I will be talking about transitions from kindy to pre-primary. So in my presentation, we will be talking about supporting successful transitions, building strong relationships and partnerships, and a practical transition toolkit, which is this one here. So this will be filled with resources for parents on how to smoothly transition. So why transitions matter? So transitioning to pre-primary is a major milestone for young children and families. Children are entering a new environment with different routines, expectations, teachers and peers. While the transition can be quite exciting, it can also be scary, fearful and cause a bit of uncertainty. The Early Years Framework explains that children learn best when they feel safe, secure and have a strong sense of belonging. The early research by Bronfenbrenner also highlights that children develop best when home and school environments work together positively. Importance of families and partnerships. So family partnerships are essential during transitions because families and children are children's first teachers and know their child the best. Strong communication between educators and families help create consistency and emotional security for children. When educators understand a children's interests, strengths and needs, they can provide more responsive and supportive learning experiences. The EYLF strongly promotes a collaborative partnerships with families to support a child's overall well-being and learning outcomes. Barriers to successful transitions. So as I was saying earlier, it can cause a bit of uncertainty, fear, anxiety. So some children may experience separation anxiety or fear for an unfamiliar environment. Families also may feel anxious about their child starting school. Obviously, they've had that transition from kindy to from daycare to kindy, but it is a little bit different, seeing as they'll be at school a little bit longer, and they could have new teacher, new peers, and overall new environment. So other barriers can include a limited communication, cultural and language differences, and different expectations between home and school. So my first resource would probably be an orientation walkthrough. So an orientation walkthrough, I would get all the parents to come to the school. They can have a look around the classroom, walk around the school, learn a bit about myself, and I would learn a little bit about them as well. So they would also become familiar with routines and the learning space. I would also really love for families to send a photo via email of their family, so then and give a little bit of information about their family and their child, and maybe ask some questions that they have or some concerns they might have as well. And they will also be given the pamphlets, brochure, and school routine that I'll be talking about soon. It'll also be emailed to them as well, just in case they can't make it. So my second one is a pamphlet. So in the pamphlets, you've got helping your child transition smoothly to pre-primary. So in this one here, you've got your comfort items, your transition books, your tips to ease anxiety, and I've also done some QR codes as well. That one will be for the EYLF and one will be for the ASEQA transition to school. I think it's really important that parents educate themselves, especially if they're feeling a bit of anxiety and uncertainty, to, you know, make it a little bit smooth for themselves as well. So you've got information about theorists and how the theorists can link to transitioning for school. You've got Bronfenbrenner, Bowlby and Vygotsky. And then you've got a couple more tips and helpful strategies and why transitions are important. So I do find transitions are important. Positive transitions support children's emotional well-being, confidence and sense of belonging. Children often feel safer and more secure when routines are consistent and predictable, and strong partnerships between families and educators help children feel more supported throughout the transition process as well. Drop-off routine. So we've got a little brochure here. This one's broken down a little bit less information than the pamphlet. It's more just like tips if your child becomes upset, so they can stay calm and reassure. Helpful phrases to use especially at home, if they're feeling a certain way before they even start school. So you've got you're safe and cared for, your teacher will help you, and especially when the drop-off as well, they will see them after school. You've also got more tips and why routines matter. So children feel safer when they know what to expect. Predictable routines help children build confidence, develop independence, and feel emotionally secure. And then we've got the daily routine planner. So in the daily routine planner, I've just done a general routine rather than breaking down into what they would actually be doing, like math, English, and everything like that. So you've got morning routine before school. You can bring a little comfort item. So even the comfort item, I would probably have that on the first day. And they can bring like a teddy bear to school, and I'd get them to sit in the classroom. And they go around in the classroom telling the class and myself why they bought the item and how it makes them feel. Your school routine, tips for families, and then why routines help. Consistent routines help children feel emotionally secure, build confidence, develop independence, reduce anxiety during transitions. Together, families and educators can support children to feel safe, calm, and ready to learn. Also, in my classroom at the start of the day, to get them all engaged, I would have them sit on the mat and draw a name out of a bucket, and that person would be able to start the day by telling everyone the date, the weather, what day it is, and that also improve their vocabulary and yeah. Emotion matching cards. So I do have these emotion matching cards here. So it helps identify emotions, match emotions to coping strategies, support emotional literacy, encourage communication, and help children express their feelings about school. So if they're feeling worried, they might match it up to the card with use calm breathing. This will also help regulate their emotions, and if they're feeling a certain way, instead of having an outburst, they can use the cards to settle them. And this is also really great, getting them to do this quite early, so then they can learn about the emotion, understand why they're feeling that way instead. And the transition book. So I don't have the physical book here, but in this book here, the pigeon has to go to school. So I'd sit them down on the first day and I'd read them this book. So discuss feelings about school. After we read the book, they can identify emotions better. They can draw feelings about starting school, share coping strategies, support emotional understanding, encourages discussion about connection as well. And my conclusion. So in my conclusion, I will have transitioning from kindergarten through primary is a significant experience for both children and families. Strong partnerships between educators and families combined with practical and engaging transition resources help support students' emotional well-being and confidence and sense of belonging. By using hands-on activities, visual supports, children's literature, and consistent routines, educators can create a positive transition experiences that help children feel safe, supported, and ready to learn. So a little quote as well: positive transitions help children develop confidence, belonging, and emotional security. And that is my presentation, and I do have my references. Thank you.